Hey, what's up, everyone? It's BeefcakeLynch. Play some game. All right, giving you a 10-minute beginner's guide to Grounded. Game just dropped on Xbox and PC. Pretty cool game. If it's kind of like a throwback to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. If anybody remembers that movie, it's like early '90s. I think they had like a part 2 or 3, or I don't know, maybe like Honey, I Shrunk the Dog or something like that afterwards. But this is just like it. Science experiment gone wrong, something like that. Kids got shrunk. They're stuck in the backyard. Play with up to 4 people. Kind of just take you through it a little bit. Start out with a new game here. So for the purpose of the beginner guide, I'm going to go ahead and take it from a medium, which is kind of like the regular kind of difficulty for most survival games like this, and go to creative, which you don't have to monitor your intake of like fluids or food or anything like that. So normally you'd have to monitor if you're going to go hungry or not, if you're drinking water, stuff like that. But I'll take you through how do you find that stuff, because even in creative mode you can still access the food, the water, all those good things. And you pick one of these 4 kids. So you can only play with up to 4 people because you only have these 4 avatars. They don't have duplicates, but yeah. So we'll play with Hoop here, which Hoop seems to be okay. So essentially, you kind of wake up.
Can't remember what happened. Hey, where am I? What the heck is this place? Everything seems so big. Whoa. Or am I really, really small? Okay, game plan. Figure out where I am, find out what happened, then knock it down Hoop style.
So it's kind of weird. The kid seems almost like kind of stupid, like she doesn't know like what's going on. Am I big or am I little? Is everything, the world just got really big? And she's like, no matter what happened, I'm just gonna break it. I'm gonna knock it out. So anyway, pretty intuitive controls. You can see when you first look around. It's actually pretty cool.
I'm not just small, I'm tiny. This is freaking awesome! But how the heck did I end up here?
And so, as you start playing through the game, you'll notice...
Coach always says, keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah. So you notice little jokes that the kids will say. If you play with different avatars, they'll have a different joke, something like that. But they're talking about you discovered this baseball because you do have a map. And the map's not all that helpful. You can't like set up waypoints or anything like that. And you kind of just have to see what direction you're facing is indicated by the little lines like that, and basically it just says, hey, found this baseball. Now, I know what you're thinking, probably what I was thinking too. All these things on here, these shapes and stuff, kind of correspond to landmarks. They don't. Sometimes there's rocks and stuff like that, and you'll find like a bunch of landmarks and stuff scattered out throughout the map that don't appear as any kind of shape or anything. So essentially what you want to do is you want to run around initially picking up things, plant fibers. Some plants are sprigs. The plant fibers can be woven into woven fiber. You collect things like sap. And as you do collect things, normally in the game when you're not in creative mode, you're going to hit details and it's going to tell you like what can you use the plant fibers to craft. So you have your inventory screen, which you're carrying. You only have so many slots for inventory, and you can stack things up to 10 items in each slot, and then you can craft things. Now for me, I have all this unlocked because I'm in creative mode. So you can see with the base building, materials, tools, work bench gear, work tools, and so forth. Everything's unlocked for me. Normally these things would be locked, and you'd have to unlock them by one, picking up things as you kind of go along, like we're doing here. Floating down like that. You can take damage when you drop. What you want to do is find a glider, which is a dandelion seed. Mushrooms are things that you can eat. So as I was telling you earlier, the video, that yeah, you can still access water, and one of the first quests you'll have when you start out is essentially eating something, there's mushrooms, and then finding water, which you can slurp this stuff.
It's got a Pancho label on it, and kids would probably drink this up. Call it swamp cooler?
And as you can see there, yeah, you can drink water that's on the ground, or as you can see as I'm holding this pebblet, when you look up, oftentimes you'll see drops of dew that form on the grass. if you throw a rock, which depending how you have things set up, I have it set up as RB because I'm using an Xbox controller on my PC. It's at RB, you'll knock the water down, the water droplet will roll on the ground, you kind of chase after it and do the same thing, just slurp it up, and that's a clean water. But normally the way you discover blueprints is you come to each one of these sheds, and there's a whole bunch of these scattered around the map. And usually you can see my little bottom left part of the screen, you can kind of see where I have a little watch, and the little meter above it lights up. Actually, it pops up and lights up whenever you're near one of these things. So you normally analyze something in your inventory, like this plant fiber. You only get so many charges a day and has a recharge. It says already known for this, but normally you would unlock the blueprint for like woven fiber, stuff like that. So you get 3 charges per day, which that is a mite gnawing on a gnat. So we're gonna throw this at him, and I'm a horrible shot. There we go, splattered him. You can pick up your pebblets, stuff like that, and you see we'll pick up this gnat corpse, pretty gross, and his lawn mite, and they become materials for other crafting supplies. Later on, you can craft axes and other tools, and actually let's do that right now. So let's go through, we'll do an axe. You'll want to craft and equip all these, and what that does, it puts it in your tool belt there at the bottom of the screen, which if you hit LB, on my controller scheme, you set, you kind of have your quick selection here. The axe, of course, which you need to cut down things like clover. And you cut down clover, just like in Minecraft or other games like this, Dead Side, it's all for crafting materials. So clover leaves, use for certain things, grab some of those. Beginning of the tutorial as well, you will come up to this machine. The only thing that creative mode doesn't have that, obviously the game does, are, the cool little missions. So while I've discovered this, and it's a landmark on the map, as you can see, little mysterious machine, the tutorial does have where you activate this thing. There's some lasers. As you can see, the huge lasers right there. They hit these things, and there's some quests that involve you basically fixing it, making it work. And that's when you also discover all the bugs. And so the bugs, let me just say something. So when you first install this game, you see all these arachnid warnings, like spider warnings if you have arachnophobia, like don't play this game, or hey, they keep telling you about this setting. It's actually in your accessibility, and it's the arachnophobia safe mode. I'm going to tell you right now, I kind of got a little bit of a thing with spiders, right? A little bit. I don't like spiders. I think they look ugly with their big bug eyes and their freaking fangs and stuff like that. But wolf spiders are the thing that get me. I mean, they're just so aggressive. They don't have a web. They like just kind of run around and hunt stuff and just stick those fangs in you. And this is what they have here. Like, they had all these warnings about, hey, the spider's a little bit bigger than the characters you're going to be playing, so you could turn down the intensity and the size of the spider and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to play the game. I even looked at the setting and I previewed the spider. I was like, oh, it just looks like an actually really cool rendered spider. These things are freaking unreal, man. Like, they are... so imagine, so I'm here and I'm looking out in the grass, and they move the grass like huge dinosaurs, like freaking T-Rexes running through the grass. So you can see grass moving in the distance whenever you're playing this game. And when you see that grass in the distance, you have to stay away from it. Those spiders are just gonna, they like they like crush your soul. They are so realistic. They come after you. They're so aggressive. When they see you, their eyes turn red and stuff. Their big bulg eye turns red, and they come after you, and they just like crazy. So I ended up seeing my first one like around this machine, where at least when it noticed me, I saw one from a distance, saw it walking. I was just freaked out by how big it was, and then I had to jump into this time machine or mysterious machine, whatever it is. And it was trying to bite the machine, yo. It was like trying to get to me, and its claws are like going into the glass and stuff. Like I was up in here like this, like looking up, and this thing is trying to get me. It was so scary. So, needless to say, I did go back into the settings, and I did fix the settings to where I took it all the way to a 5, which makes your spider look like this. Still kind of scary with those 2 red bulbous eyes, But yeah, I'm not even gonna put the, you know, I may put it, so let me just, yeah, see, it gets a little scarier. Oh my god. Ah! I got my stuff like this, and it's fine. So just warning, did I talk about that a little too much? Did I on that? I don't like those freaking spiders. I don't think anybody will. So, certain things, dandelions, other things that are weeds, you end up getting like these weed fibers, weed stems, I should say, and you stack them up, you know, just like crazy stuff, and you can throw them. I don't know why you want to huck them, but you can. You can huck them. Dried grass. There's just a bunch of stuff. So the big things like these weed stems, you can't put in your backpack or anything. And so I just picked up a glider, which are these dandelion tufts, so I can glide around. But most stuff does go into your inventory. Other things like those grass blades, they turn into big planks. They won't go into your inventory either. What I'm going to do is we're actually going to go to kind of the north of the map here. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Got a juice box. Juice box. Oh, so yeah. So here's what. So this is some juice. This is how the water looks whenever you find it. Whenever you knock the dewdrops from the blades of grass. Yeah, there's a dewdrop right there, as a matter of fact. And so if we equip the pebblet and I throw it, see, it comes down, it kind of rolls around, and you slurp it up. And we're gonna try to get up to this top of this little light here. There is a way to get up there. Here it is. And so yeah, so you get a good view of the yard from here. Pretty epic. And so you have like some roses over there with obviously rose petals, stuff like that. That's looking east, because right now we're at the north is to our back and we're facing south towards the yard here. And so yeah, so this way you have some water features, stuff like that. So you have things like clay, other things that you can mine. You have obviously rose petals, which, you know, is something you'll need to craft things. Essentially, spider silk, a bunch of other stuff. You'll find a bunch of spiders' dens, which just, I don't know, I can't even think about how scary that would be with spiders in them in this game. You have some flower beds this way. So essentially, you get a really, really good take of the yard, and I think it's cool how they rendered it. You know, you got this house. It kind of looks like that movie, you know, where the people rode the hummingbirds or whatever. I can't remember it. Maybe I don't even want to say it because I don't know, maybe my video get demonetized if I mention it. But anyway, like Beyonce played like one lady's voice in the thing. But yeah, it looks like that house, kind of raggedy, like a scientist lives there and didn't take care of it. Which, just like in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids too, it's just like that as well. Oh, look at that hang time. Oh, I'm gonna glitch this hang time. Very cool. What happens if I get like perfect max hang time? Or do I die? I don't know. Oh yeah, you just fall. That's pretty poopish. There are some things that will come up later in the game, but for the beginner guide like this, it's essentially going through, finding a pretty safe place. A lot of people recommend building over water if you can, so going by these roses over there, there's a couple ponds and everything. A lot of people have said just anywhere where you can have the base kind of higher up, like on top of this log or something like that I'm running on, or this root, whatever it is. I've also seen these things, like these cans of soda, laying around, and you could actually get up in here.
My parents never let me have soda.
Oh my god, Hoops is such a handful. But I can't imagine that big old spider getting in here. Big old spider! So this might be a good like place to put a base where you got your Puncho drink. That is a weird... Wow, that is an awesome... An armed raspberry kids drink with a shotgun. Very nice. You have like this pond. People said try building on that. Find a good safe place. You're going to want to make sure you build a workbench. Because you can't build any of this stuff without it. You know, a lot of this doesn't require like really special things, or like long lists of like taking woven fiber and making that into cloth, and taking cloth and making it to a bag, taking a bag and making it something else. You do need a lot of like wood stems. You have to carry a bunch of stuff, and a lot of the stuff you have to get from a lot of different places of the map. Like I've only found clay in like 2 places on the map so far. The spider silk, the places I found it when I played through with the spiders and stuff, yeah, there's like a bunch of little spiders and stuff to kill. There's abandoned ant mounds that I'm sure that not on creative mode are going to be full of ants, and the ants are really tough. Like the soldier ants kill you very easily when you first start the game, and the regular worker ants, they're just like everywhere. You'll end up fighting, if you're not careful, you'll have like 10 of them around you, you know, biting you and stuff and kill you pretty quickly. Speaking of that, when you do die, you respawn. It drops you back where you first start, and you'll see a little mark kind of on the map where your stuff's at, and you go back to where you died, and you pick up all your stuff. But the bad guys are also around your body as well. I know that later on, I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything like that, but you do have like grub attacks and other things you do have to defend against. But those will be in some later videos as I play some more of the game, kind of uncover it. But for now, that's kind of what you need to know. So like, subscribe, comment. BeefcakeLynch, I'm out.